So Delux has quietly released a new firmware update for some of their mice. It's only available on their Chinese website right now. I'll leave the link below, but this is the translated tab, right? As you can see, it's called quote-unquote competitive firmware. It's only available for these models right now, and also the M900 Ultra, which I think uses a Nordic MCU, but anyway, there are other mice using the same MCU and sensor as these ones, so I think Delux might release an updated firmware for those models in the near future, such as the M800 Pro, but I'm not sure. It's only available for these ones right now. This is the firmware, right? And this is the software version. You need this updated software to be able to change the sensor run mode to gaming, which is the corded mode. It works quite well. I've tested it with my oscilloscope and it's indeed running at 10K minimum sensor frame rate. But even with corded mode off, the performance feels noticeably better, the tracking feels better and more responsive in general. And the motion latency is also lower and tighter. For example, on my Portuguese video, I've talked a little bit about performance, quote-unquote issues with this mouse, which performance isn't really bad, but other mice using other MCUs and other firmware solutions do perform better than this one. Or at least they used to, right? And motion latency compared to the ATK F1 Extreme was pretty depressing, I would say. Like, I would test motion latency many times, and every time I would get a slightly different result. Like, sometimes it would be around 1.52 milliseconds, and sometimes it would be up to 4 milliseconds difference compared to the ATK F1 Extreme, running at 1K polling rate and 20K sensor frame rate. And it doesn't happen anymore with this competitive firmware, as you can see here. Running the Delux mouse on corded mode, right? It's only around 1 millisecond, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes 1.5-ish milliseconds. But on my tests, the motion latency is much tighter, it's much closer to the ATK F1 Extreme now, and the mouse feels better, feels more responsive. On my Portuguese video, I've also tested it on my XLAT. I got around 3.5 milliseconds of click latency with this mouse, and the click latency is still the same, okay, with the old firmware version and this new one. It hasn't changed. Another thing that hasn't changed was the minor polling instability. As you can see here, I would get some off polls here and there. Even with the USB dongle very close to my mouse, I would still get those polling instabilities, which probably won't feel in game, but it shouldn't be there, right? It's not there with other mice. This also hasn't gotten any better with the firmware update, as you can see here, but I think it's a problem with the M800Mini Pro and not other BK mice. But anyway, I'd also like to say that this new software has a weird bug with the first two DPI sliders. The actual DPI is double the one that you set here. So if you set it to 800, you get 1600 DPI. As you can see here, I've tested it. So you need to use the third to the sixth slider here to set your DPI values. Okay, so just ignore these two ones. It's a really weird bug, and I haven't seen anything close to anything similar to that at all with any other mouse software, but it is what it is. So yeah, to update your mouse, it's really simple, okay? So all you need to do is to unplug the USB dongle and then plug the mouse directly to the USB cable, and you run the updater. You click on update and that's it. You just wait for it to erase the flash and program it again and you're done. And you don't need to update your dongle, okay? This update is just for the mouse, not the dongle. It might take a minute or two to update and then you can just open the new Delux software and there you go. But again, make sure to reconfigure your mouse settings, including motion sync, debounce time, etc, etc. And that's it. This is my first mouse video in English. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you want to check my Portuguese videos, I'll leave my other channel link down here in the description as well. And thanks for watching and see you next time.